On the news, federal government unveils new NNPC in Abuja. NNPC Limited increases pump price of petrol in different states. And CBN raises interest rate to 14% to check inflation. It's glad to have you join us on News Now this evening. I am Abisola Adebayo. President Muhammadu Buhari has unveiled the Nigerian National Petroleum Company Limited, NNPC Limited. The landmark event, which took place in Abuja on Tuesday, officially transformed the oil firm from a state-run oil corporation to a commercial venture. Speaking at the event, President Buhari explained that the transformation would strengthen the capacity and market relevance of Nigeria's oil industry in the international market. There's details in this next report. In line with the provisions of the Petroleum Industry Act 2021, the Nigerian National Petroleum Corporation (NNPC) has now been transformed into a limited liability company after 43 years of running as a corporation. With the move, the commercial entity will now run as a private entity without government interference, making the company profit-oriented. Gathered here at the State House Conference Center in Abuja are stakeholders in the oil and gas industry, foreign investors, President Muhammadu Buhari, as well as other government officials. They are here to witness the official unveiling of the Nigerian National Petroleum Company Limited. Expressing optimism about the move, President Buhari explains that the new enterprise would support sustainable growth across various sectors of the economy as it delivers energy to the world.
It is therefore my singular honor and privilege on this historic day of 19th of July 2022 to unveil the NNPC Limited, whose focus on becoming a dynamic global energy company of choice to deliver energy for today, for tomorrow, for the day and days after tomorrow.
The Group Chief Executive Officer of NNPC Limited, Mele Kyari, also revealed that the company, which has been working for a while, has adopted a strategic initiative to achieve the mandate of energy security for the country.
We have taken a strategic initiative to achieve our mandate of ensuring energy security for our country by rolling out a comprehensive expansion plan to grow our fuel retail presence from the 547 to over 1,500 outlets within the next 6 months. Our drive for organizational sustainability is hinged on our renewed commitment to partnerships that deliver sustainable value to all with integrity.
Also speaking at the historic event, Minister of State for Petroleum Resources Timothy Silva described the unveiling of NNPC Limited as a new dawn in the quest for the growth and development of the Nigerian oil and gas industry. With the move, he says the nation's petroleum industry is no longer rudderless.
With the PIA assuring international and local oil companies of adequate protection for their investment, the nation's petroleum industry is no longer rudderless. The PIA avails us the golden opportunity to strengthen our institutions, improve our regulatory and fiscal frameworks, and attract the much-needed investments.
Despite the availability of more than enough natural resources, Nigeria continues to fall short on oil production, unable to compete with its contemporaries across the world. Nigerians are, however, optimistic that the new transition will reposition the company to efficiently maximize the country's resources after decades of performing below par. Abisola Adebayo, TV360 News. Meanwhile, mixed reactions have continued to throw the formal unveiling of the Nigerian National Petroleum Company Limited, NNPC Limited, as a limited liability company. Speaking to TV360 Nigeria in an interview, oil and gas expert Bala Zaka explained that the move will, among other things, enhance accountability and transparency in the establishment. Lauding the initiative, Zaka further maintained that the landmark move is expected to position Nigeria in a positive light when it comes to energy production across the world.
Now that the NNPC is a limited liability company, first of all, the NNPC Limited will be expected to be publishing her financial statements. She will be expected to be audited. She will be expected to be filing returns also. But just like what we always say, there was a time or a day, like on the 1st of October 1960, Nigeria was unveiled as a new country. After the celebration and the unveiling, other activities were supposed to determine whether Nigeria was going to be an organized country or not. Some of us remember that in 1999, another phase of democracy in Nigeria was unveiled with the expectation that there was going to be a detachment from military dictatorship. But after the celebration and the unveiling, it depends now whether the democracy is working or not. So it's the same thing with the unveiling of the Nigerian National Petroleum Company Limited. The reasons for the transition, of course, are positive reasons. It is expected that there will be profitability. It is expected that there will be no corruption. But after the celebrations and the unveiling, other activities within will determine whether what has happened today will lead to positive crystallization or they will make Nigeria to grow backwards. But as loyal citizens, it is our expectation that Nigeria will now become one of the countries to be proud of when you talk about energy deliverability.
The Nigerian National Petroleum Company Limited, NNPC Limited, has announced the upward review of the pump price of PMS, also known as petrol, to 169 naira per litre from the previous price of 165 naira per litre. According to a statement from the NNPC Limited, it explains that the price review will be dependent on each zone of the country, while Southwest, South-South and North Central will sell at 179 naira per litre, Northwest and Southeast will sell petrol at 184 naira per litre. Also, the Northeast zone is expected to sell for 189 naira per litre and Lagos is expected to sell for 169 naira per litre. Meanwhile, the review and increase in the price of petrol has been tagged unavoidable by analysts. Muda Yusuf, an economist who spoke in an interview with TV360 Nigeria, explained that to avert a tremendous increase in the price of petrol and further exploitation by black market sellers, the review by the federal government and the NNPC Limited was the right step.
What was done in terms of adjusting the price was inevitable. The alternative will be much worse, and the alternative will be that many of these marketers will not be able to sell. The sale of products will now go exclusively to the black market guys who are carrying jerry cans, and the price will be much higher than what we have. The government or the NNPC and the marketer needed to seek for this adjustment to accommodate the increase in the cost of logistics. This is not about subsidy removal. This is about making the business even sustainable for those who are in the business. It may have some inflationary effect, no doubt, but it's still better than creating a complete chaos in the downstream sector, especially with petroleum distribution. Because the marketers are saying that there was no way they could transport those products to their various stations at 165 naira per litre. I mean, what do we expect them to do? The government is already carrying a huge burden in terms of subsidy. How much more can the government take on? So the subsidy is still there, but we need to create a headroom for the marketers to be at least be able to move the product from Lagos to wherever their destination is. That is why I think that adjustment was necessary, and I think we just have to allow it to be if you don't want a much serious crisis in terms of fuel scarcity.
Following the prolonged industrial action by the Academic Staff Union of Universities, ASU, President Muhammadu Buhari has directed the Minister of Education, Adamu, to provide a solution to the challenge and report back to him in 2 weeks. According to reports, the President gave the directive on Tuesday during a meeting with relevant government ministries, agencies and departments, where he received briefings on the current face-off with the university unions, among other issues. During the meeting, the President also gave instructions that the Minister of Labour and Employment, Chris Ngige, as well as the Secretary to the Government of the Federation, Boss Mustafa, must be in attendance in all the meetings with the union to speedily resolve the crisis. President Buhari's directive comes a week after he told the striking university lecturers that enough is enough and should, as a matter of responsibility, reconsider their position on the prolonged strike with a view to calling it off. Now to politics. Oyo State Governor Seyi Makinde has charged the new Deputy Governor of the state, Adebayo Lawal, to see his position as a responsibility to deliver good governance to the people of Oyo State. The governor gave this charge shortly after Lawal, who is a former Attorney General and Commissioner for Justice of the state, took an oath of office administered by the Chief Judge of the state, Honorable Justice Muntari Abimbola. The governor, while speaking at the swearing-in ceremony held at the Executive Chamber of the Governor's office in Ibadan, admonished the new Deputy Governor to put the interest of the state first and serve the state diligently in his new capacity.
I, Adebayo Adenike Lawal, do solemnly swear that I will be faithful and bear true allegiance to the Federal Republic of Nigeria, that as Deputy Governor of Oyo State, I will discharge my duties.
The reward for hard work is more work. So that's why we're giving you more work. The position of a deputy governor is a position of trust. Our masters are the people of Oyo State, and our responsibility is to continue to serve them. We continue to supervise the housing corporation, even from this position. And also, Oyo State Road Maintenance Agency will also be under your direct supervision. And finally, you've operated as the Attorney General of this state.
The youth wing of the Christian Association of Nigeria, Yowika North Central Zone, has condemned the decision of the All Progressives Congress APC to file a Muslim ticket for the 2023 presidential election, insisting that it fuels divisiveness. Yowika North Central Chairman Owoyemi Olushola made the statement at a press briefing in Abuja, stressing that the decision by the ruling party is not healthy for the peace and unity of the country. The group believes the Muslim ticket may further trigger insecurity and other challenges bedeviling the country.
The Nigerian mainstream media and the general public have been occupied with discussions on the Muslim ticket by the All Progressive Congress, APC, one of the political parties in the build-up to the 2023 general elections. These discussions have further snowballed into heated debates across the length and breadth of our great and beloved country, Nigeria. The Youth Wing Christian Association of Nigeria, Yowikan, North Central Zone, having written an open letter to that effect initially, in further steps also invited you here to restate the stand made by the National CAN and many other Christian bodies to condemn and reject any presidential ticket in totality that lacks religious balance. We clearly want to emphasize that this is not healthy for the highly diversified Nigerian space, especially in the face of the growing and alarming insecurity in our nation at the moment. Every youth is called upon to register and get their PVCs. Get their PVCs. Get their PVCs. And mobilize peers. Mobilize peers to be ready to come out en masse to vote against divisive combinations.
The Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, has promised to deliver the best general elections in Nigeria come 2023. INEC Chairman Mahmood Yakubu gave the assurance when he received delegations of the International Republican Institute and the National Democratic Institute in Abuja. The delegates called on the INEC boss to operate an all-inclusive electoral process as the world looks forward to a free and fair and credible election in 2023. Responding, the INEC chairman assured the delegates of the Commission's preparedness to sustain a deepening democracy in Nigeria in line with international best practices.
Who share with you the common belief that the people of Nigeria deserve to continue to have free and fair and accessible elections. And so we're working to prepare for the presidential election in 2023 in February. And of course, we always know that there's room to get better, but I think we should start by recognizing the continuous improvement that INEC has made to deliver safe elections for the people of Nigeria, and that's something that we were able to see firsthand.
In some jurisdictions, what we see is that there's a day set aside for the poll workers, for the security people. If, for example, you are conducting an election, you may have about 2 weeks at the time of the main election, then they cast their ballots. When they finish casting their ballot, whether it's a security or whatever, whenever he goes, he has already voted. So then he can have time to also cast the ballot. Be the security. I know you have concerns about being biased because you work with the Electoral Commission. But I think, again, they also have a constitutional right to exercise their mandate to have a say in people who govern them.
But as for our preparations for the 2023 general elections, I want to assure you that we promised Nigerians that Ekiti was going to be good, and Ekiti was a good election. We promised that Osun was going to be better. Osun was a better election. We are promising that the 2023 general election will be our best election ever, and we are committed to delivering the best election ever.
Well, we'll take a break here, but still to come, WTO DG Ngozi Okonjo-Iweala visits Nigeria, spotlights importance of local vaccine production. Details of this story and more right after this break. Welcome back. Here is a recap of some of our top stories tonight. President Muhammadu Buhari has unveiled the Nigerian National Petroleum Company Limited, NNPC Limited. The landmark event, which took place in Abuja on Tuesday, officially transformed the oil firm from a state-run oil corporation to a commercial venture. Speaking at the event, President Buhari explained that the transformation will strengthen the capacity and market relevance of Nigeria's oil industry in the international market. We also told you that the Nigerian National Petroleum Company, NNPC Limited, has announced the upward review of the pump price of PMS, also known as petrol, to 169 naira per litre from the previous price of 165 naira per litre, while Southwest, South-South and North Central will sell at 179 naira per litre. Northwest and Southeast will sell petrol at 184 naira per litre. Also, the Northeast zone is expected to sell for 189 naira per litre and Lagos for 169 naira per litre. Well, in case you missed any of our news bulletins or for more updates, do log on to our website on www.tv360nigeria.com. You can also follow us on our social media platforms on Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, and Google Plus at TV360 Nigeria. On Facebook, we're TV360 Online. The Director General of the World Trade Organization, Ngozi Okonjo-Iweala, has called for more support from local manufacturers to guard against the importation of vaccines and other pharmaceutical products. Okonjo-Iweala made the call on Monday during a visit to the Ministry of Industry, Trade and Investment in Abuja, where she was received by the Minister of State for Industries, Trade and Investment, Mariam Katagum, discussing the importance of trade relationships in Nigeria and Africa, with a focus on fisheries subsidies and local vaccine production in the country. Okonjo-Iweala explained that health officials should prioritize local production of vaccines to avoid the recurrence of situations like the coronavirus pandemic. Our visit comes barely a month after the WTO Council of Ministers meeting, which was held in Geneva with a major focus on improving trade, health, food security and economic reforms, among other things. Well, we'll take another break now and return with more stories. Please stay with us.
Opinions are free, facts are sacred, but truth is universal.
How, in practical terms, can we, for instance, de-escalate the tension?
President must see himself as the President of the Federal Republic.
We know where the enemy is. 3 places. The Lake Chad Basin, the border area between Nigeria and Cameroon, and then the Sambisa Forest.
On TV360, we give you a complete dose of everything. Opinion, facts, and undiluted truth.
I hardly believe what politicians say in this part of the world.
A new Nigeria is possible, a future is possible.
We delve into the issues, dissect it so that you can understand it, and use it to take action.
I don't think there's any need for any governor to look for grant for ranching.
TV360, dissecting the issues.
Welcome back. It's time for business news and stock market review with Mary Kanu. Over to you, Mary.
Oh, many thanks, Abisola. Hello and welcome to Business News. The Central Bank of Nigeria, CBN, has raised the monetary policy rate from 13% to 14%. CBN Governor Godwin Emefiele announced this on Tuesday during the 286th meeting of the Monetary Policy Committee held in Lagos. According to Emefiele, the Apex Bank increased the MPR rate but retained other parameters, saying it was the right option considering economic realities, as the committee resolved that the most rational policy option would be to further strengthen its tightening stance in order to effectively curtail the unabated rising trend of inflation.
To ensure that output still remains in focus, MPC advised the bank's management to continue to use its development finance tools to support the agricultural and manufacturing sectors in Nigeria. Committee thus voted unanimously to raise the monetary policy rate, MPR. One member voted to increase the MPR by 150 basis points, 6 members by 100 basis points, 1 member by 75 basis points, and 3 members by 50 basis points. Consequently, committee resolved to increase the MPR by 100 basis points from 13% to 14%. And in summary, MPC voted as follows. 1. Increase MPR to 14% from 13. 2. Retain the asymmetric corridor at plus 100 and minus 700 basis points around the MPR. 3. Retain the CRR at 27.5%. And 4. Retain liquidity ratio at 30%.
We'll take a break now and return with stock market review. Just stay with us. The The Nigerian equities market could not withstand the profit taken by investors as the bears dragged the market all the way down to the red territory at 0.02%, although the all-share index is in the 52,000 level. The second trading day of the week saw the market shed 6 billion naira as Multiverse and J-Paul Gold topped the losers counter, shedding combined 19 kobo. Now, compared with the previous trading day, today's data shows 77% improvement in volume, 20% decline in turnover and 9% decline in deals as investors expect a bolder stance in the next trade session. A switch now to some selected global stocks as we see the FTSE, the Dow Jones and the Nikkei all traded with the bull in charge. The FTSE is trading up at 1.01%. The Dow Jones follows suit at 1.58% and JPN stock were also led higher by gains in the retail services and electrical sectors, which led them to gain 0.65%. That's the latest update from the stock market. Folashade, I beg your pardon, Abisola, back to you now for the rest of the news.
Thank you very much, Mary, for that update. Moving on, the health authorities in Ghana have discharged 29 out of the 98 persons who had been in isolation after coming in contact with one of the two people who recently died after contracting the Marburg virus. Those discharged that completed the 21-day isolation period and did not show any symptoms. Ghana had declared an outbreak of the virus 10 days after confirming the two cases following confirmation by a WHO partner laboratory in Senegal. Contact tracing and strict infection control measures have also been introduced to prevent more fatalities. Meanwhile, this is the second time that Marburg has been identified in West Africa. Well, it's time for entertainment report on News Now.
Nigerian gospel artist Mercy Chinwo and her spouse, Pastor Blessed Uzochikwa, have successfully conducted their introduction ceremony ahead of their wedding. Earlier in June, the couple announced their engagement and received many happy wishes from friends, families, co-workers and fans. Banky W and wife Adesua Etomi Wellington were some of the celebrities who graced the event in Rivers State. Nollywood actress Nkechi Blessing has slammed critiques of celebrities who have decided to join the Nigerian political scene. In a video making rounds on the internet, Nkechi tagged those mocking her colleagues as hypocrites. According to Nkechi, Nigerians are quick to criticize when celebrities keep silent on various issues of concern, but at the same time mock them when they get involved in politics. The actress further added that she is super proud of her colleagues joining politics, especially women contesting as deputy governors. And that's all we have on the entertainment segment of News Now.
President Muhammadu Buhari has commended the resilience and professionalism displayed by Nigeria's Super Falcons against the Moroccan female national football team in the second semi-final of the African Women's Cup of Nations. In a statement released on Tuesday, President Buhari lauded the doggedness, resilience and professionalism of the Falcons, who, according to him, despite playing with 2 players down before a home crowd, showed quality and class. The Super Falcons, who were on their way to clinching the African title for the 11th time, lost to their host Morocco in a penalty knockout that ended in 5-4. The Falcons will now square up with Zambia on Friday, July 22nd in the third-place match of the tournament. Well, that's the size of our news bulletin this evening. Many thanks for staying with us. I am Abisola Adebayo.